I'm Theron Ramacharaka. I have a very short document that I wrote here for a specific individual. Uh, I'm not sure what year now because I look. It's about self mastery and personal evolvement training preparation. Now you can apply this yourself. I wrote it for a specific person. I was guiding them through the whole process. But I was beginning to at this point here. But you can apply this yourself. But when I wrote it, it's a little hard to determine. I looked at the information about this file, and it says created in 1969. Well, I was 11 years old. I don't think I wrote it that long ago. And then it says modified 2004 or 6, something like that. That's more like it. So, but regardless, I just thought that was funny. 1969. Woo! Woo! Training preparation. The basic formula is rather simple and just follows the structure of how things actually work when they're working. Achievement in anything, really, like self-mastery, personal evolvement, requires concentration. Concentration requires attention. Attention requires interest. Interest requires motive. And motive requires desire. There. Tracing back necessary conditions all the way to desire. From concentration, from achievement in affairs, back to desire. Also, bear in mind, will directs attention. Desire and feeling direct will, and attention creates desire. So we have some feedback going on around here. We will pretty much just start right off with exercises that simultaneously aim toward control of desire, feeling, attention, and will. Good place to start. All steps to be taken will be logical, and for you, apply this however you may. And they should appeal to your common sense as well, whatever that is. Each step will pave the way for increasing success with the following steps, so that the probability of overall success snowballs to the point of inevitability. Just some ideas here for your own consideration. A few preliminary concepts must be emphasized. One is that thought is a creative force, and it operates in accordance with the law of cause and effect. It always creates more of its own kind, positive or negative. And in the end, it creates like conditions in our lives. Also, the more concentrated that thought is, the greater its effect. Like the difference between scattered light and a laser. The content of our minds is extremely important. We must polarize its entirety, the content, toward the positive. We'll learn more about that later on. It's what is written here, but we'll learn more about it in the channel too. Here, for you guys. Another thing is the utmost importance of true faith and belief in yourself. Without those, you're practically dead in the water. Equally important is the solid belief that you can gain the control that we're talking about here. Do you believe that you can do it? Do you? Do you, in the first place, believe that it's possible for anybody to do it? Doubt will definitely bar the way. But with the power of belief at work, efforts to control the mind gain perceptible strength from day to day. Why should belief bring a power? Well, for one thing, it supplants doubt. Hurrying is of little use with this. It causes ceaseless agitation, a turning back of the mind upon itself. And I've seen this with people. They try to rush through. It manifests in a lot of ways, this hurrying thing. And it starts to work against you, a person. Hurry is about as destructive as is worry. They both undermine the growth and expansion of mental power and cause more of their own kind. Hurry and worry. In particular, hurrying through any part of anything like personal evolvement or self-mastery training, however you want to put this, will render it practically useless to you. There must be no straining, no forcing, and no rushing. There must be patience, perseverance, practice, belief, and optimism. Adherence to this sort of personal training, whether it's guided by, say, me, or by the material in this channel, or just you're creating it for yourself, adherence to it with patience, perseverance, practice, belief, and optimism will cultivate these same qualities where they are lacking while shutting down their destructive counterparts. You will never, you should never. Here it says you will never because, like I said, this was someone I was guiding. But for you, listening to this video, you should never have justified stress over whether you're making progress. No. As long as the following conditions are true. Number one, you're of reasonably sound mind and are not heavily using mind-altering substances or using them to the point of typically being off somewhere else in your own little reality. Two, you have faith in yourself that you can do it. Three, you have faith in the program, the material itself. Any doubt? Well, dispel it. As long as you're meeting the rest of these conditions. And you have to do the material. You have to do the work. These four things, if kept true, you should never be having any justified stress over whether you're making progress. No straining. No worrying about it. No hurrying. Remember, no straining, no forcing, no rushing. Okay? Now, the mind is not there to break. It's there to train. Now, these two things are very different from one another. Breaking and training. Care over physical health is important to the goals here. When universal mental and physical laws are utilized together, the best results occur. Again, watching over your physical health is of particular importance. Some people pay attention only to that in life. Then, if a person gets involved in something like this, or on some whatever they call spiritual path, they sometimes forget about taking care of their body. That kind of gets left aside because they're working on higher things. Don't also rush into other sorts of material to improve all areas of your life at once. You know, if you're following a course of action, like the material here in this channel, well, you know, don't at the same time go rushing off, you know, and join a meditation group somewhere where they're going to tell you other stuff. You might even get into a conversation about what you're doing elsewhere, like here. And they'll say, oh, no, that's not going to work with this. Oh, it just becomes a nightmare. And it's too much. It's overload. Focus. Focus. If you want to use this training to help you stop smoking, for example, you can go ahead with your smoking cessation regimen or with your weight loss program, but do not suddenly attempt to quit smoking, lose weight, lift weights, change your diet, take up a new spiritual path, and start a new business all at once. You might, however, consider making some relevant changes right now to your environment. Thoroughly clean your house, for example, as a preparatory thing. For example, clean your house and resolve to keep it that way. Kind of like the New Year's resolution kind of thing. Or a little personal initiation rite. A ritual that marks a new phase in your life. A benchmark, a starting point. It's something that at least serves to symbolize a decision that you've made and you're going to follow through with. Like create a desk area for yourself if you don't already have one. That's another example. Rearrange your furniture. Something like that. The point is to create for yourself some positive environmental factor or factors that stand for a new phase in your life. And that's all I have to say right now. Some considerations for just getting your mind in the right direction. A little basic understanding about affairs of practical use for you. I'm Theron Ramacharaka. Be well.